How's it going?
It's going. How are you doing? How's everybody feeling
Uh,
today?
like we got our butts kicked yesterday. But you can't mope around. We watched the film, see everything, all the mistakes that we made as a team, and just like I said, no unit really played well. So just try to go out this week and improve. That's all we can do at this point, just improve.
What happened on those first couple drives when Houston was, not to be disrespectful, but a hot knife through butter just right down the field? Then it seemed like you kind of stabilized for a period there. Were able to get to halftime at 14-7. You shut them down a little bit, and then it kind of got out of hand in the second half. What was sort of the ebb and flow there of what went on?
Yeah, I think in the beginning we just couldn't get off the field on third down. We had a couple penalties on the first, few drives that extended the drives. And when you're out there on defense and drives get extended, typically good things never happen. And so we were able to kind of get back into a good flow after that, get the offense, did a good job driving the ball down at the end of the half, and they got the ball coming out. At halftime, opportunistic. We had an opportunity to get back into the game, and we just didn't capitalize off of it.
When you have a new player coming into a game, like you knew obviously early in the week that it was going to be Drake May starting, I know you guys are on defense. We heard the midday show talking with a couple of offensive players, but do you guys on the defense, is that something that is sort of important to you? I mean, you know that this is a new step going forward here for this franchise. Is that something that the defense sort of took to heart going into this game as well?
Definitely, definitely. Our job is to work with the offense, and I definitely say we didn't give them, a good start of, being down early, 14-0, spot them, 14 points, and so, when you put a young quarterback in a situation like that, even mentally, to feel like he has to come out and, play perfect and make every throw, I think a defense part in that is just not making him have to feel like that.
How about the big plays? Like you mentioned it earlier, the touchdown to Booty at the end of the half. You hit a 40-yard touchdown. Even as a defensive player, does that give you a little jolt as you head into the locker room and maybe for the second half?
Yeah, it definitely does. Like I said, it gives energy. I can say that play in itself was really what, brought back the energy into the team, at that point in the game. And, anytime the offense can make an explosive play, as a defense, we're sitting on the sideline, we're making our adjustments. And, we hear the crowd go crazy, and it kind of, brings back life into the team. So every time they make those big plays.
On the flip side of that, as a defense, you gave up a couple 50-yard runs. I'm assuming those are the opposite. Those sort of take the wind out of your sails. And how do you explain those away? Is that just poor tackling, run fits, guys trying to do too much? What those big runs that you guys gave up?
Well, I would just say a combination of, poor run fit, fundamentals, and guys not doing their job, and that's what it comes down to in the run game. It's defeating blocks, getting off of blocks and making tackles. And anytime you give up explosive runs, that's the easiest way for the offense, to gain yards without any risk. And so that fundamentals of football is just stopping the run. And like I said, we had too many explosive runs last game.
We're talking with Jonathan Jones of the Patriots. Jonathan, do you feel like the defense is getting better as the year goes on?
I do. I feel like guys are, coming into their role, and but guys got to start making those big steps, and we've got some guys who are out, who've been out, and guys just have to step up. It can't be a big drop off from the guys who we're missing to the guys we have in there now, and so that's just a big part of it. Guys being able to step up and be dependable and make the plays when it comes their time.
Obviously, around here, everybody's talking about Drake May, their young quarterback. You got to see C.J. Stroud up close and personal. That early touchdown, I mean, looked like you had decent coverage, and he just rolled out and put the ball right on the right where his receiver could make the play. What was your takeaway from your action against C.J. Stroud?
Definitely, I feel like he made the plays he needed to make. There were a few that I think we could have got off of him, but for the most part, he protected the ball well. He checked the ball down, didn't force it a lot of times. Was able to find holes when we were in zone, and then the plays that we were in man, outside of the interception that we did get, he didn't leave too many balls behind the receivers. The one that he did, we were able to capitalize and turn it into a turnover on Marcus's interception. So he did a good job with that yesterday.
Marte Mapu had a couple of plays. What was your overall take on his performance yesterday?
Just good to have him back. He's building, building his football stamina back up and just getting back into the game. So it's good to have him back out there, and he's going to continue to build.
I know you'll want to walk softly through this, but as a observer, the officiating is as inconsistent as I've ever seen it in the 20 years I've been covering the NFL.
Is that fair to say that there's really inconsistent officiating at times in these games?
I'm not sure on what their structure of reviews and fines, or how that, how we have fines and things like that as players. So, I'm not sure how that is deemed, like how they go about getting controlled or monitored. I'm not sure who's in control of that. I'm pretty sure something within the league. But, as players, we just have to go out there and play. We're not in control of their portion of the game. What they, have to do is three people who show up, every Sunday who dictate the game. That's players, coaches, and the, officials. And so all three of us have to, do our jobs to the best of our ability.
Jonathan, coming up this weekend, you're going overseas to play the Jacksonville Jaguars, another team off to a tough start this year at Wembley Stadium in England. Last year, the Europe game was a tough point in the season for you guys. Is that something that sort of lingers going into this game this week? Is that sort of a memory you guys maybe have from last year about the preparation and everything that goes into a game in such a faraway place?
No, I mean, I think for this year, we just, don't want to make the trip in vain. We're going to go all the way out there. We want to come back with a victory. We're playing a team who are struggling, in the last few weeks like we are. So at the end of the day, somebody's got to win the game. And we got to come out this week and have a good week of practice so that when we go out there, we'll be the team to lead with a victory.
I will say, as much as you acknowledge you've been struggling and yesterday was a tough day, I didn't see any give up. I'm just wondering how you feel like the team has sort of gone about being professionals in the midst of a 5-game losing streak and sort of fighting the good fight, even if the fight is an uphill battle.
Definitely. I mean, I think that goes to the character of the guys in the locker room. Everyone fights, to the final whistle. And I can definitely, being out there on the field, you don't see guys quitting, turning on each other. I think we're just all in it, together. We understand where we are right now. As a team, as a unit, we haven't played well. And it's going to be on us to change that. So starting on the practice field, get back out there and just improve, consistently improve, as individuals and as a unit.
What is something you can say about Gerard Mayo and Coach Mayo's game planning this year that maybe is new to you guys after all the years you were playing under Coach Belichick? What's something that you've noticed now over 6 weeks here that Mayo does either well or not well compared to Coach Belichick?
Well, I think he's done a good job of empowering, players to, I don't want to use the word combat, but communicate. Communicate with coaches if it's something that they're not, they're not ready for, they don't feel comfortable with. He wants guys, communicate with their coaches because, at the end of the day, he doesn't want to put guys out there, in a position that they don't feel like they can succeed in. So he's done a good job of empowering the players, to go to the coaches and having that open line of communication.
You mentioned earlier, throwing some zone looks at Stroud, some man looks, the run fits not being quite right. As we approach the middle of the season, do you have a feel at what the identity of this defense should be, what you guys should be good at?
Yeah, and I think that's multiples. I think we have a good defense that we can do a lot of multiple things. Like I said, it's not a complaint because everybody in the league is dealing with it. It's just injuries. And so when you have, a lot of injuries with the front, in the front seven especially, luckily, as far as the corner group, we've been healthy, but, safeties, we had safeties out, the last few weeks and just, dealing with a lot of injuries. It's guys having to step up. And, with our defense, we can be as complicated as we want to, or we can be as simple as we need to. And so guys just, harping in on the fundamentals and the basics of the defense and communicating and being on the same page and little things like that is what this defense is built off of. And so the more we can, do the simple things right, the more complex we can begin to be.
All right, Jonathan, before we let you go, any plans for London? Anything you want to see while you're over there?
No, I mean, I'll take it all in and just enjoy my time there, but hopefully just, leave with a win. That would be the best thing we could do this weekend is leave with a win.
All right, we'll leave it right there then. Jonathan Jones, thanks so much for the time today. Good luck in England against Jacksonville this weekend. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Thank you. See you guys next week.
All right, Jonathan Jones, New England Patriots cornerback, joining us here on WEEI Afternoons. We'll still have to talk with Drake.